All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Welcome to our team chat, our Saturday team chat for our Fit Fab Fall group. I'm going to jump right into the topic today so that we can get going. I'm really excited to talk about this because it's something I've personally been struggling with for the last week and a half, almost 2 weeks, where I just found myself kind of going into a little slump and just feeling all kinds of ways, feeling frustrated, feeling unmotivated, and just kind of pushing myself to go through the motions. And I want to address that because this is definitely something that everyone's going to experience at some point. I don't say that to be negative. I say that to be real because it's just part of the journey. It's part of life in general, whether you're working on fitness goals or whether you're working on professional goals, whatever it is, you're always going to have ebbs and flows, peaks and valleys. So what you want is to always be ahead of the game, so to speak, so that when you hit those peaks, you don't think, oh, I'm fine now, I have everything figured out. Because when you prepare, then when that valley comes, you don't get hit sideways and think, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? I don't know what's going on. So today I'm just going to really quickly talk about how to stay consistent. And then at the end, if there's time for questions or just comments, or if you guys have specific questions about your programs that you're doing now, I want to keep enough time for that. So how to stay consistent. It's very simple, but like we know, common knowledge isn't always common practice. So we talk a lot in our group about mindset because you guys, it can't be ignored. There's a saying that I love by Joyce Meyer, and she says, where the mind goes, the man follows. And it's really just wherever your mindset is, your body kind of follows that. So if you're telling yourself things like, this isn't going to work for me, or I can't do this, I've never been able to succeed with my goals, I've never been able to achieve what I want to achieve, your body's going to start to respond in that way on the inside. Not just, you might physically be doing your workouts and physically be, eating clean, but your mind controls what happens in your body. And I think this is really overlooked a lot because it seems kind of abstract, but we really have to take hold of that. It's because it's a fact. I mean, you can look up studies, that this is true. So the first thing you really need to do is make sure your mind is in the right place. We talk a lot about personal development. You don't have to, if you're not a big reader, you don't have to sit down and read and read and read. You can listen to books on Audible. You can look up stuff on YouTube. You can listen to stuff on the radio. Find something that speaks to your heart and find something that speaks to your mind, because you have to keep yourself in that excited place, because life is going to come at you. Life is coming at you. And you really have no control of the outside world. You really only have control of what's going on inside. And that really starts with your thoughts. So you have to have those thoughts in the right place every day. I recommend, even if you're not a morning person, 5 minutes in the morning, just before you start the day, even before you get up to go make your breakfast or start your daily routine, listen to something that puts your mind in the right frame of mind. Something that makes you feel grateful, something that makes you feel excited, passionate, or just peaceful. Find that thing for yourself and plan ahead of time. So before you go to bed, something you can do is just say, okay, tomorrow you can quickly search for like a YouTube video or something on Instagram, something that speaks to you, and have it set so that in the morning when you're half asleep, I don't know about you, but my left eye doesn't open right away. So when that happens, you're not searching in the morning going, what should I look for? I need inspiration. You want to have it ready to go. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is really knowing why you want this. And I think a lot of times we kind of gloss over that because we're like, yeah, I want to lose weight. And yeah, I know that I want to feel better. And I want to get my confidence back. And I want to get back to myself. And that's great. But you have to ask yourself, once you come up with that first answer, you then have to kind of pretend you're a 3-year-old and ask why and why and why and why until you get to the really root reason of why you want change in your life, why you're showing up to do your workouts, why you're trying to figure out how to lose weight or, get healthier, why you're pressing play every day. why you joined this team, why you purchased Shakeology. You have to really understand what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And sometimes it takes time to really figure it out. You know, it might on the surface be, I really have put on some weight and I need to just take it off. That's okay. That's part of your why. But why is that weight coming off so important to you? And one of the things that really helps me to focus and figure out my why is to ask myself, what is it that I feel that I cannot do right now that I would be able to do if I reached my goals? That really helps me to focus on why I'm doing what I'm doing and not keep it at a surface level. The reason why that's so important for you to know is because the valleys are going to come. And when your why is not strong enough, or you're not focused on the stronger reason why you're doing this, it's very easy to just go with the wind. It's very easy to just say, oh my gosh, you know, life happened, this happened, I got thrown off, I got to start over. You want to be in front of that as much as possible, because that's really how you stay consistent. It's not something you have to be fearful of. It's just something that you have to know that's life, and that something is going to come your way. It's just the way life works. The moment you decide you're going to fight for something, you're going to get adversity. Whether it's a big thing or a small thing, you're going to get adversity. It's what makes us stronger. It's what makes us build character. If you are a Bible believing person, in the Bible it says that perseverance builds character. You can't just go over things, you have to go through them. So that's a really important thing. And just putting it in front of you every day is super important. Just having it written down, or, you know, taking a few minutes to think about it and picture how you feel achieving that why, and just connecting physiologically, connecting your feelings with the achievement of that why is really, really important, because then you'll remember, wait a minute, when I'm at work and they're offering donuts or, you know, whatever, and I really, really want change, it'll be so much easier to say no, because you're focused on what's more important to you. It's very important to know what you want most versus what you want right now, because there's tons of things we want right now. Sometimes we want to stay in bed. Sometimes we want cookies. Sometimes we want that extra glass of wine. Sometimes we want lots of things, but there is something that keeps you coming back that's more important to you than those things. So knowing what it is and connecting with it every day is vital for your consistency. Okay. Prioritizing. This is a really big one for me because I'm a yes person. So I have a very hard time saying no to things because I want to be there for everyone. I want to be everybody's everything. And even though I know that's not realistic, that's just where my heart is. But I've had to really mature myself out of that to understand when I'm connecting with what I really want, some of these things don't really add up. Some of these things that I say yes to don't add up. And it's not always fitness related or, you know, related to the goal in particular. A lot of times it's saying yes to things that my kids get invited to, or we as a family get invited to, or just things that my kids might want to do. It's very hard to say no when you want to say yes, when your heart really wants to, but you have to always do a gut check and say, is this really in line with my ultimate values, my ultimate goal? Because a lot of times what's good isn't the best. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with, you know, going to that 4th birthday party this month or whatever it is. But sometimes you have to really say, okay, is going and pushing myself to do that going to rob my peace? Is it going to exhaust me and take away from time that I really need to replenish my spirit or replenish my body or whatever it is? And you have to be mindful of those things because it sneaks up on you. And then that's when overwhelm sets in. And that's when we resist the things that we're trying to do for ourselves in the first place. And we don't want to, we don't want to do that. So prioritizing. Are you saying yes to too many things? When you're distracted, there's actually studies that show that too many distractions and too many, busy thoughts can actually lead to depression. When you're not accomplishing things, when you're not finishing things that you start, and when you're not even being able to finish a thought, moms know this for a fact. If you have little kids, or if you've raised little kids or been around them for your job, you're constantly interrupted. And at the end of the day, part of the reason you feel so frazzled is because you haven't been able to finish a thought. It's not necessarily so much that you've exerted yourself physically. It's that your mind has been all over the place, like running 4 marathons at a time, and you get in shutdown mode. When you are trying to stay consistent with your fitness, this can be a detriment to your fitness goals, because the first thing we're going to do is self-preservation. So our mind is going to say, you're exhausted, you're all over the place. So you should really take a break from physical activity. That's the last thing you want to do. The more consistent you are with the physical part, the more your body is going to adjust and produce more energy and be able to think clearer and start prioritizing what's really important to you. Figuring out, this is just a quick practical thing, figure out what time of day that you personally thrive. People will say, experts will say, you got to do it in the morning. The reality is you have to do what you will stay consistent with and where you thrive the most. So for me, that's the morning time. I don't like working out in the morning, but I don't like working out at night. So I figured out over time, if you're not somebody who has a time where you necessarily thrive, you have to look at what is the one that you would skip the least. So kind of the lesser of two evils. And for me, that's definitely the morning. Because if I know that I've had my long day and I've done all the things that I do for, life, and then I still have to exert that physical energy, it's much easier for me to say, I'll start over tomorrow, than to skip it if I did it in the morning. If I do it first thing in the morning, even if I'm tired, even if I can barely see, I produce more energy. My mind is in a better place, and it's off my list of things that I need to do. So that's me. So if you don't have a time when you thrive, figure out the lesser of two evils and just be an adult about it and just do it. Put it on your calendar and show up, just like you do for work, just like you do for doctor's appointments, just like you do for your kids' recitals. You show up for you. Okay. I talked about mindset. Remember that this is a mind game where the mind goes, the body follows. Personal development, just again, to touch on it, treat it like a shower. Sometimes, honestly, as a mom, I'm like, I don't even want to take a shower. And sometimes I skip it because I'm so tired and I'm just like, I'll survive without it. But you really need that self-care. You really need that thing that seems like it's not a big deal, but it really is. And you feel so much better. 5-10 minutes of just something going in your brain that is going to bring you peaceful thoughts, grateful thoughts, happy thoughts, focused thoughts, whatever it is. Take the time, even if you don't feel like it, even if you have to go into robot mode and just say, okay, I'm pressing play on my personal development, do it, because you never regret it. Just like workouts. There's never a workout where you say, man, I wish I wouldn't have worked out, ever. There's never been a time that I've worked out and made myself show up to my workout and said, I really shouldn't have done that. Never. Another tip that I've given myself, because we do sometimes just life comes at us and we haven't been organized and we're human. If you have sometimes where you're just like, I don't want to work out, and you're doing the mental battle, tell yourself to get dressed and show up to the workout in your basement, or if you take your workouts to the gym, wherever you personally work out, and then give yourself an out. Tell yourself, okay, you can work out, set a timer, 15 minutes. If by 15 minutes into this workout, I don't want to work out anymore, I get to be done. And I get to be proud of myself for showing up, and I get to be proud of myself for doing something, but I'm not going to finish the workout if I'm really not feeling it. And I will tell you, I started doing that years ago when I was a gym rat, when I was in my early 20s. And I only had 2 times my entire life of working out that I've ever actually taken myself up on that, because it's the start that stops most of us. So just getting those clothes on and just saying, okay, you don't have to work out after 15 minutes. Just do 15 minutes and you're done. Most of the time, you're not going to stop. So give yourself the grace to do something, but not be perfect. And then the biggest tip that I have for you guys today is to love yourself with abandon. And what I mean by that is you have to approach this with an all-in mentality, but you have to detach yourself from the outcome. And it's very challenging sometimes to do that because we get so excited about our goals. We get so excited about just feeling better. You start working out, drinking Shakeology, and you're like, oh my gosh, like this is what's been missing in my life. And that's true. But what we start to do is take it one step further and we try to control what's going to come of it and when it's going to come. So I'm not saying we don't want to set goals. We absolutely want to set goals and we want to put deadlines on the goals. We want to take those things seriously. However, what you want to do is fall in love with the process and not the destination / outcome. So you can look at it like this. Here, I'm somebody who speaks in analogies. Analogies make sense to my brain. So I use the farmer analogy versus the hunter. The hunter goes in and says, okay, I am going to, lose 20 pounds by the end of this year. Okay. Hunter has a goal. Hunter goes in. Hunter is focused. Hunter is beelining it to that end goal. Nothing wrong with the hunter, nothing wrong with his approach. However, once he gets his kill, his motivation is over. He has nothing driving him anymore. He didn't necessarily enjoy all the steps along the way, getting his gun cleaned out and ready, getting himself dressed, getting to wherever he's going to hunt. He just focused on the kill. The problem with that, there's a place and a time for that, but the problem with that is that because this is a lifestyle and not just about goals, it can rob you of the joy of taking care of yourself and the person that you become when you fall in love with the process. That's really the more important thing in all of this. Yes, it's very important that you, like Tina, who's on the call, she has a 10 pounds in 10 days. I love that goal. I'm not in any way saying don't set those goals. You need those goals because it excites you, it drives you. But at the same time, understand that if you get to the end of those 10 days and the scale doesn't tell you exactly that you lost 10 pounds or you want it to, or whatever you want it to say, don't miss the process, falling in love with the process, the personal development every day. This is an act of love for your body. It is not an act of punishment. It's not an act of, I was bad and now I have to make up for it, or I'm so disgusting and now I need to just do whatever I can to stop being disgusting. I have battled my whole life with self-hatred and body image issues, and that's something I've worked really hard with God and with counseling and just on my personal development to let go of, to love myself for the sake of I'm worthy of love. And working out and drinking Shakeology is a serious act of love, you guys. It's not just about shedding the pounds and looking better in your clothes. It is really about loving yourself. And so when you love with abandon, it's like loving somebody without any expectation of them loving you in return. You love them just because you love them, and you do everything that shows acts of love for them without expecting them to love you back. So in the fitness world, that looks like you're going in and you're showing up in the group, you're working out, you're pressing play, you're setting goals, you're showing up for yourself, you're getting good sleep, you're drinking tons of water, you're taking care of yourself as an act of love for yourself, knowing that doing those things consistently, you're going to reach your goals. But you're not focused on, I'm only doing this to get to the goal. I'm doing this because I matter. I love myself, and I'm going to continue to do things to learn how to love myself for the rest of my life. So the farmer approach is really the other side of that analogy. So the hunter goes in, gets the kill. The farmer just shows up every day. The farmer is consistent. He gets up before the sun comes up. He plants seeds. He tills the land. He, just loves his land, and he does it with a care. He does it with love. He does it whether he knows when these seeds are going to sprout or not. And he doesn't say, okay, I just planted some pumpkin seeds. Like, is anything coming up yet? Or what's going on? He lets go of the scoreboard. He lets go of the outcome, but he doesn't let go of the process. He doesn't not set a goal. His goal might be to have the biggest harvest he's ever had this year, but he doesn't stop showing up when he doesn't see the little sprouts coming up. He doesn't stop showing up if he doesn't immediately see results. He knows and he trusts and he has faith that he's doing the work. He's loving the process. He's showing up every day. And sometimes, yes, it might be mundane or boring, but he's doing it with the faith and the trust and the belief that what he's doing is going to yield results in due time. So it's very important for consistency for your mind to go, I'm going to set goals, I'm going to work really hard, but your mind should be focused on the process and the fundamentals of doing those actions, not on the scoreboard of, did it work, did it work, did it work? It's going to work. The other thing that I can tell you from personal experience that I slipped back into that because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about my goals for the end of the year. Well, I started getting all crazy and started checking my weight every day and doing all this stuff. And I was getting frustrated. Well, your mind is telling you to hold on to when you're stressed and when you're too focused on something and you're striving too hard. Your mind is going to tell you to go into scarcity mode and to say, well, maybe we won't do that. Maybe that's not going to work. And maybe your mind is so powerful, you guys. It literally, I can tell you, it has physically been holding weight onto me. And I will tell you, after I struggled this week and reached out to you guys and reached out to some close friends of mine, I'm off the ledge. I'm back onto remembering to trust the process because I went from farming all year to all of a sudden I was like, I turned into the hunter. I'm like, nope, that's it. I'm going to lose, 3-4 pounds every week, which first of all is kind of ridiculous, but not impossible, but just silly. I just started abandoning everything I know because I just got redirected on the wrong focus. I'm back in my mind on being Farmer Brown and focusing on what's important, which is loving myself, caring for myself, detaching myself from the outcome. The moment you do that, you start to achieve these goals. It's like the woman who has never been able to get pregnant. You hear these stories all the time. Women struggle to get pregnant. They're trying, they're taking tests, they're taking this, they're taking that. And then they finally decide to do hormone therapy or whatever it is, or in vitro. They have a baby. They feel so happy and relaxed, but they're just like, oh my gosh, they've tried so hard. And then when they finally let go of the striving, they're pregnant. They're like, how did I get pregnant without even doing anything? I wasn't even trying. I wasn't even focused on it. It's because your body needs to be in alignment. It needs to be in flow. It needs to be at peace. Your body does not want to do things when you're stressing out about it, whether that's in business, whether that's in a marriage, whether that's in fitness. So anyways, that's what I really wanted to share with you guys on how I stay consistent. And again, you saw me, I try to be as vulnerable as possible with you guys to let you know that this is not a perfect thing. You're a human being. So when you struggle, lean into the group. Don't hide from the group. Don't feel scared that you're going to be judged because you missed workouts or you ate like crap or whatever it is that's going on with you. Lean into your support system. That's why we do this. This is why we have these groups. Otherwise, you wouldn't need to be part of a group. And just let us support you. You guys really helped me to get out of my crazy thoughts and get back on track and just say, wait a minute. It's okay. I'm okay. I just got myself sidetracked. And that's going to happen. So when that happens and you feel like, what happened? I was so excited and now I'm not. Lean into the group. Listen to personal development. Listen to your body. Observe what's going on. Did you have more obligations this week? Did family come in town? Are you stressed out about finances? Like what's going on in your life? And then give it to God. Give it to whoever you trust in. For me, I'm a believer in Christ. So for me, I pray. I lay it at the foot of the cross and I just say, you know what? I can't control the outcome. I can only control my effort and my attitude. So anyways, that's all I have for you guys. I hope that's helpful. I'm going to unmute you guys if you want to add any comments or questions or concerns. You have the floor. And then I'm going to let you go. Oh, wait, Steph, I can't unmute you, Stephanie. So there we go. All right. Does anybody have anything they want to add or share or questions?
All right. So I thought that was just perfectly said. I'm sorry you can't see me, but for some reason when I'm on Zoom on my phone, it doesn't open the camera. But no, I thought that was just perfectly said. And I just kept thinking about when I first started, and one of my first personal development books that I read was Compound Effect and The Slight Edge. And both of those books really just, that's exactly what they talk about. Everything that Demetria just said, like, you know, that's exactly what both of these personal development books talk about. And you know, we get so scared in the beginning, and we focus so much on that big, huge number that we have to achieve, that we end up getting sidetracked so easily. We get frustrated, we get overwhelmed and everything. But we have to celebrate those small wins. And like she said, you know, with the process, you know, like, just enjoy the process. You know, don't worry about the destination. It's the journey that is what's most important. It's the process that you're going through. And those small little wins along the way, the fact that you just pushed play that day is a win. You know, that we got off the couch and we did something about the way we feel. You know, we're always like complaining about the way we feel and what we want and what we want to look like and how we want to feel and stuff, but then we don't do anything about it. So the fact that you got off the couch and did something about it and pushed play, that you had a good eating day, that you ate clean and healthy, that you drank more water than usual, all of those are little wins. You know, when your clothes start to feel better and looser, and you're starting to feel happier, healthier, more confident in yourself, the fact that you're noticing that you're getting stronger, that you're lifting heavier weights with each workout, that you're able to do push-ups on your toes, you know, or do your planks for a little bit longer than 30 seconds. All of those things are huge wins along the way, because you're becoming that better version of yourself. And it's these small wins, this is what gets you to that compound effect. You know, it's those small, simple steps over time that's going to get you to where you want to be. And that's exactly what, you know, Demetria is been saying in this call, what the compound effect explains, what the Slight Edge explains. And as we change our mindset and we start focusing and looking at this journey in that way, eventually you're going to get there. You're going to be that person that you want to be. So I was just thinking of that as you were talking, and just remembering like how it was for me in the beginning and how I felt overwhelmed. But when I look back at how far I've come, it's because of that, because I put in that mindset and I kept moving forward. You know, you don't see it at the moment, but then that's why pictures are just amazing, because then you look back at these pictures and you're like, whoa, you know, look at how far I did come because of these simple, small steps and these little small habits that I'm changing into healthier habits that I'm doing consistently over time has gotten me this far. And is going to continue getting me even further and further and closer to where I want to be.
Yes.
So,
and I want to add one more thing that I didn't mention that I really think is important. Comparison is the thief of joy. Don't let that become just a cute little cliche saying that goes in one ear and out the other. You guys, Jesus Christ himself said, do not compare yourself. And the reason is because it completely throws your whole mind for a loop. It throws you into a place where you either feel like you're so much better than somebody else, and so then you might take your foot off the gas comparing yourself to them, thinking, well, I'm way ahead of them, so I think I'm doing good. Or it does the opposite, where you're like, I'm so far behind. Look at all these things that this other person is able to do or is accomplishing or was able to do in half the time it took me or whatever. And then it throws you off and puts you into a place where you don't want to try as hard either, because you feel like you're never going to get there. You are not anybody else. Literally, unless you are a clone of somebody, you are no one else. You literally cannot compare apples to oranges. And even if you are family members, and even if your lives look very similar, even if you went to the same college and graduated at the same time and got married at the same time and had kids at the same time, you are not the same as anybody else. So to compare yourself is literally to come into your own life and kick yourself down. It's consistency is going to happen when your blinders are on and you are only focused on, like Stephanie said, all the little wins along the way that keep you in perspective about the fact that you are winning, you are progressing, you are moving forward. Some days and some weeks, it's going to be leaps and bounds. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, I lost 5 pounds this week, or oh my gosh, my energy's through the roof, or whatever changes you see. Most times you're going to see very small, seemingly insignificant changes, like little snowflakes that all of a sudden you come back and look out the window again, you're like, there's an avalanche outside. But when it first started snowing, you're like, oh, there's a couple flurries, no big deal, not even worth paying attention to. It is worth paying attention to because it adds up, and those are the things that create change for you. Those are the things that create the results you're looking for. So don't compare to anybody else. All you need to do is say, what was I doing yesterday? What can I learn from what wasn't working for me? If you're going to compare anything, you compare it to the person you were yesterday, and you say, what can I improve? What can I learn from? Or what can I celebrate? That's it. And when we can constantly remember to do that, we stay in a state of joy. We stay excited. We stay passionate. We stay hungry for staying on this journey, and we get excited about who we're becoming. Because it's really who you become on the road to where you're going. It's not the destination. So I love so much what Stephanie just shared. Tina, if you have any questions or anything to add, or if you guys are watching this and you're watching the recording, you can put, yes, Gabriel, you can put your questions in the comments if you're watching this recording. But Tina, I'm going to give you a minute and then we're going to
go. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I haven't done this before. This is so cool, you guys. I don't know. Are we the only ones on right now?
Yes, but this call will be shared with the whole team.
Okay. So Demetria knows this, but nobody else knows this, but I'm a lifetime member with Weight Watchers. Mm-hmm. And I just want you guys to know that this program and this group and the virtual, and I'm very emotional, so I might have to comment, but you guys are so accessible and it's so different, and I'm surprised because here I am in my pajamas and I'm with family and I got to be quiet, but it doesn't take much to just jump on this call. And what you and Stephanie said, Stephanie, you're the reason why I chose my new program last week. And, you guys are going to want to kick me off because I'm a blubber. But, but anyway, this whole program is huge. And if anything, when you're not feeling it, like you said, maybe you don't want to post, and maybe you don't want everybody to see, but at least talk to your coach. You guys are more than a coach, you're a friend. So, yeah, come tune in whenever you can and use the resources that are there and that positive energy. Just fill yourself with positiveness and don't compare. For sure. And I know that I'll comment with this next part because I probably won't be able to get it out. So thank you. Thank you for everything.
Oh my goodness. Girl, you don't ever apologize. I am the most crying. I'm surprised we made it through this call without crying because I've been emotional wreck. And so I'm so thankful that you just opened up to us and just are part of this team. You're an amazing woman. I'm just getting to know you and I'm already like, how do I feel like I've known this woman for years? It's just, this is why we do what we do, so that you have this place to come to and you can start to purge some of those old things and have a place to have support for that. So I'm so thankful that you're finding value in it and that you're going to be joining us as a coach soon. And I'm just excited. I'm very excited for this whole journey for you and for everybody who's watching this. Beachbody is a life-changing thing. It's not just about the cool programs and the cool products we have. It's so much deeper than that and so much more than that. And as you embrace the community, you start to really understand what it's really about and what you can use it for. So All right, Steph, anything to add?
No, I'm just like, Tina, you just had me crying.
Oh, I know.
It's like, oh my gosh. Like, no, seriously, even like as a coach, sometimes, now I'm going to cry. Sometimes I feel like I'm posting to the wall, and I'm sharing and I'm talking and no one is even listening. So when I hear things like that from you, Tina, like you said, and how I was the reason why you chose your next program, it just means the world to me to hear things like that. And it's that gets me to continue doing what I'm doing and to continue showing up, because I know that this is not just about me, but it's about all the people that are watching me and that are seeing what I'm doing and stuff, even though I don't know that they're seeing. But yeah, so thank you for sharing that. And as you can see, we're all criers.
Good. Well, you're welcome. And you guys are the best, all the people in the group, everybody. I'm so excited. I would love to see everybody, post their stories more, because I would just love to become friends with everybody. And it's just such a great community to be around, positive people. And I know that we all get negative and we get down, but hopefully, together we can do this together. And for me, my husband tells me, you can do all this by yourself. You know what to eat. You know how to exercise. Yeah, I do. But it's the support system. And you guys have changed my life. So thank you.
Oh, Tina, thank you so much for that. And if you want to share a quick story with hubby, I was not only a gym rat, but I'm also certified as a personal trainer. And when I first got introduced to this whole thing, I was like, I don't need any of this. I write workout programs for people. Like, I don't need this. What is wrong with me? But it was because I was so deprived of the support that I actually needed and didn't even know I needed. And I was so used to always being the person providing support for people and providing plans and providing this thing that I didn't realize how much I needed that myself. And when I plugged into this, I was like, this was my missing link. This was what I needed all along and never had it. And it was lonely before that. And I didn't realize, because I just kind of got used to it. And again, like you, I have the knowledge. I can write a meal plan. I can write a fitness plan. So I didn't need someone to necessarily tell me, but that's not what it was for. It's the support, the community, the accountability. That was the piece that I needed so badly. And why I've been consistent for this long, because I have everybody's support and I have a place to plug into and belong. So, all right. Well, I'm going to end the call. This was an amazing call. I'm so thankful that you guys were able to get on. For those of you watching the recording, share your story with us. Let us know how we can support you. Make it a point to get on these calls, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time in the morning on Saturdays. And just, be vulnerable with us. Not any time in this group will you find judgment from anybody in the group. And I always make it known that if you ever do find anything hairy, I reserve the right to remove people from the group. And in almost 5 years, I've never had to do that, because this isn't just not that type of party. So please feel and know that you're in a safe place and that we're all doing this together. None of us are perfect. We're working on it together, and we're so much better together, you guys. So, okay, happy Saturday. I love you all very much. And I took more time than I said I was going to, but that's okay. All right, I will see you guys in the group.